Hey, live from Saturday night from the Quarterback Sports Bar and Grill. I'm Joe the Swiss Tilley.
Hi friends, Billy the Greek here.
Okay, this is the Tilley and Billy Show, our first Saturday night live show here from the Quarterback Sports Bar and Grill. We got a dandy for you. We're going to be talking some Maple Leafs. We're going to be talking some Raptors. We're going to be talking NBA All-Star and whatever else happens to come up. We got a lot of people here who might have some other things they want to talk about, so we'll let them pipe in.
And well, what else?
Well, listen, if you're watching at home, oh yeah, of course.
Hold on, the big guns are coming out now. Right here. See this?
Yeah.
Don't be fooled. It's a garbage full of.
We couldn't fit all the ballots in here, so we had to put them all in the garbage can. We're doing the draw. DeMar DeRozan is returning to the Scotiabank
February
Arena
22nd.
on February 22nd. It's a return to DeMar. We have 2 tickets to give away, which we'll be doing later on the show, so you don't want to stick around for that one. By the way, if you're here live at the Quarterback Sports Bar and Grill, what happens, Billy?
What happens? Unfortunately, if you're live here and you're in the premises, I'm gonna have to go in my pocket and give you $300 cash. So you got to be here for that $300. We're gonna draw the ticket at about 6:45. Stick around. You're in the building. You're in your car. You might as well come down here if you put a ballot. You're sitting on your couch. If you live half an hour away, get down here. What's the point? Why'd you put the ballot in if you don't want to claim the prize? Get over here. Get ready. Interact. Let's go. Come on, hurry up.
All right, the $300. That sounds pretty good.
You can. Eh?
Okay, well, you know what? I think the first thing we should talk about it's Saturday night. The Leafs are getting ready to face the Arizona Coyotes in Arizona. Now this is Austin Matthews' hometown, basically. Okay, he comes from Scottsdale, games in Glendale, which is pretty close, and it's been a fun little circus there for Austin Matthews the last few days. He arrived in Arizona after Vegas, nice win in Vegas. Then they arrived in Vegas in Arizona. The rink where the Leafs were practicing is the same rink that Austin Matthews used to play in when he was a kid. So that's kind of fun. The guy's a star there. By the way, did I mention we are live at the Quarterback Sports Bar and Grill? Yes, we are. And right here on Warden Avenue, Scarborough, just north of Eglinton. 14,000 square feet of fun here at the Quarterback Sports Bar and Grill. Pro standard playing equipment, great food.
How's the food?
Book your good food. Yeah, awesome. We're going to hardly wait for dinner.
Yeah.
Call 416-757-2265 or go to thecornerbank.ca. All right?
Awesome.
Oh, yeah, and we also have a new sponsor we're talking about tonight. This segment is brought to you by Davey Auto Sales. Best used cars anywhere. 99 Bloor Street, East Oshawa. Call 905-720-CARS or visit DaveyAutoSales.com. Call Jeff and his team today.
Hey, welcome aboard, Davey.
You need a new car? Yours is
we can talk after.
You have to call Jeff. Give Jeff a call.
Yeah, okay, all right, good stuff.
Okay, so anyway, back to the Maple Leafs. Austin Matthews' hometown, coming off a real nice win against the Golden Knights. I mean, 6-3 victory. They really came on in the third period, which I'm kind of surprised at because they dominated the team. Mind you, the Golden Knights had struggled a little bit heading in that game. Coyotes, another team that's not really explained that well. But, you know, the Western Conference is so wide open and so weak, which is unusual. But a team like the Arizona Coyotes, 2 games into 500, they're actually still in the hunt for a playoff spot.
Yeah, if the game Swiss was played on paper, the Leafs would win 9 out of 10. Actually, funny enough, you know, the Coyotes come into the ACC and haven't lost since I don't know when, like 10 years. They're like 8-0-1.
They won earlier this season.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So they don't lose coming in here, right? So you figure, again, games played on paper, Leafs win 9 times out of 10, but they played on the ice, right? Again, the interesting point from where I sit is just the fact that Austin Matthews, like when you think about it, Arizona's not a hotbed of hockey. Eh? What a beautiful story it is for a kid that grows up in that part of the world.
Not a lot of outdoor rinks, I know.
Really? Right? So it's unbelievable. You know, it must be a big night for him coming home. And then, you know what? Fortunately for us, Leaf fans, he signed for 5 years, right? So there'd be no talk of him re-signing Arizona. We'll deal with that down the road, right? So again, I look for a spirited effort. Again, I believe the Buds are flying. They're skating, open ice. You know, when the ice is available for them to play, probably upper tier of the NHL in terms of product on the ice, right?
I really think the Leafs are probably going to win this game 4-2. That's what my prediction is.
You know what? I've been calling.
They've had a real good road trip so far. Just that one loss in New York where they dominated, and you know, this is stop number 5. and they played really well. I think they're going to keep that going. I see 4-2 Maple Leafs.
What was the chance? Remember the other day we're talking and they sent you a little text for previewing the score. Hey, I sent you 5-2. You sent 5-2, and it was 5-2.
Yeah.
We should have just quit right there, and never make a prediction again and just say that's enough, man. Hey, and go it on top. So you say 4-1 tonight?
4-2.
4-2. I can't go with you completely. I got to go against you. So the Greek's going to call for maybe a 4-1. 4-1. Give him
okay. And by the way, if you haven't heard, Freddie Anderson is back in goal for the Leafs tonight, and Tyler Ennis is being called up. He's back up because Andreas Janssen
with the injury, right?
Andreas Janssen suffered the leg injury, the upper leg injury, and that Braden McNabb hit him knee on knee. Yeah. Controversial hit, anyway.
Not the hit that was controversial, the smile in the penalty box, eh? Yeah. That's what we're talking about, Swiss.
And nobody wiped the smile off his face, right?
How long we've been talking about this? You take a guy out like that, you're smiling, and you got nobody to answer. Again, that's a point of contention that we've had going on here for the better part of the couple months we've been doing this, and for me that's unacceptable. For me to have some of your better players taken out in that kind of way without even a sense of retribution or fear.
Well, listen, guys may be taking liberties.
Hey, keep it down. We're trying to work over here, please. Sorry, you were saying?
The Maple Leafs, guys have been taking liberties a little bit with the Maple Leafs, but when that happens, they take penalties. Like that double minor the other night, they scored twice on that double minor.
Fair enough, Joel. Sometimes it's more than a penalty in the game. It's more than a power play. It's setting a mindset and an element of fear in the opposition that you can't take liberties with your best players. You cannot take liberties, or else you might get a wash, you might get a jab, you might get a spear. Until we present something like that.
Well, you know what? Listen, they've got guys to give you a wash right now. Nazem Kadri would be happy to give you a wash anytime. He'll give anybody a wash anytime. Okay. Travis Dermott, I like the way this guy's playing. A little tougher. Zach Hyman.
Let me ask you something.
Zach Hyman stands up all the time.
Let me ask you something. Since the Muzzin trade, have you seen a concerted effort in the Leafs to play a more physical brand of hockey since the Muzzin came on board? Have you seen it? Is it evident to you?
Yeah. I mean, that kind of thing rubs off.
So all right, you're making my point. So if one guy increases the level of physicality in your roster, then wouldn't another forward do the same thing? If you brought a Simmons in or somebody like that, wouldn't they have the same impact on a bigger level?
We've been talking about that for a long time now, and both of us like the idea of what Simmons coming up here. But you know what? I'm not sure you need it. I'm not sure you got to make it work. Salary cap wise, and there's a lot to think about when you're doing something like that. Yeah. But you also have a really strong team here. It's the number 2 team in the NHL in terms of
wins. Hold on, slow down.
The number 2 team in the NHL in total wins. Well,
number two,
Calgary just passed
4 points for being 12, right? They're 2 that they're 75 points, but there's 10 teams right on their nose. So one bad weekend instead of the second.
No. They're 7 points clear.
They're 7 points clear of a playoff spot. But we're talking in the overall standings, right? They're a bad week away from
3 teams behind them.
Leafs are one of 16
4
clubs.
Teams behind them.
Leafs are one of 16 clubs with a shot at the title. That's it. Yeah, basically.
Well, I think they're more than that. I think
legitimate.
Oh yeah, legitimate.
Legitimate.
Ron
Hainsey playing 20 minutes a game. You're legitimate. As your first pairing defenseman.
Listen,
you're legitimate. You're going to win the cup.
Listen, those are the lines. The defense
pairings always goes back to
the defense pairings you see right now are not the defense pairings.
Let's hope so. If you're Babcock,
Jake Muzzin is going to be playing a lot more than Ron Hainsey. If you win games that count.
If you're Babcock, right? You use Hainsey the same way because it's always his fallback position.
But Hainsey, you're acting like Hainsey's like a pathetic excuse.
I don't know. I wouldn't say pathetic, but the guy, with all due respect, when you see him, he's an eyesore on this. He's slow. He panics. He can't.
He doesn't panic.
He doesn't panic. Are you sure?
No, he's not a guy who panics.
No, eh?
Every D-man under enough pressure is going to panic.
Yeah, you know what the panic is because he's slow to the puck, right? Obviously, he doesn't have as much time to get rid of the puck, right? But that's besides the point. I just can't see moving forward how this team can win 3 playoff rounds, how you can beat Boston, Tampa Bay, and either Pittsburgh or Washington with Hainsey and Zaitsev playing 20 minutes a game. I don't see it.
When you've got that much offense, when you got 3 lines that can just come at you, and even the 4th line. I mean, the 4th line can score.
Yeah, we've had the conversation. They can come at you, but I need somebody to protect a 2-1 lead in the 3rd period. I need. So
right?
So you ask yourself,
the fourth line can do that too.
So you ask yourself, do the Leafs at this point in time, do they have a
The
level?
first line can do that.
Do you think
I like the way Tavares, Marner, and Hyman. That line could shut you down, and they can score, but they can also shut you down.
Yeah.
That's a line I'd be very comfortable putting
Well,
up
without a doubt, but I'll tell you
this:
this: that for the Maple Leafs to succeed come April, they got to show a level of intensity, and I believe it's there. I believe that they still have another gear that they haven't shown all year. That Leaf fans haven't seen.
Right.
I believe I believe that other gear exists,
right.
But will it come to fruition? Can you find the other gear without the physical components to play a playoff style of hockey? Can you win with a roster that's a finesse-laden roster? Can you? I don't know. We're going to find out.
Okay.
As is.
If you look at this team, the way it exists now, okay, this is a team that came, very close to beating Boston last year.
Yeah.
If they had the home ice, it might have made a difference. Very close to beating Washington the previous year, a team, that was ultimately would win the Stanley Cup the following year. You add a piece like Tavares.
I'm with you.
You add a piece like Muzzin. You add, this is a stronger team.
Here's the
And the young kids are growing, they're maturing, they're getting better all the time. To me, it's a team that, was close, and now it is really, I think, poised to take that next step.
Poised to take the next step. Again, the difficulty with taking that next step. When you pointed out the losses to Boston and Washington in
Game 7.
In Game 7, one was in Game 6, the other in Game 7. What's the common denominator in both games? They gave up a third period lead.
Right.
They gave up a third period lead to Boston, 4-3, going into the third period, and they were up 1-0 halfway through the third against the Caps. Couldn't shut them down.
Yeah.
So
how often this year have the Leafs given up the lead?
Okay.
Never.
All right.
They're one of the best teams in the NHL this year for holding on the lead.
So you a pool player?
You
play pool?
Yeah, of course.
All right. So you play pool.
Quarterback.
Quarterback. So if you play pool, if you're shooting around, right, and there's no cameras, no people, no nothing, no pressure, you can make anything. What do you do when the lights are on? Game 7. That's who you show who you really are. And to this point in time, the Leafs have shown they don't have the tenacity in that
They have
spot.
some pieces now
They
that they never had before.
They got pieces.
They've got a younger
argue.
team that's getting older and growing together. If you go by that, logic,
Yeah.
you see the Washington Capitals will never win the Stanley Cup because they didn't win the Stanley Cup. They had the President's Trophy. They won multiple times. They've been the best team in the NHL. Never won the Stanley Cup. Well, last year they won the Stanley Cup, didn't they?
You know what's funny about
because that team is strong. They grew together.
It's strong, but also
just the way the Leafs are.
Also strong, but you got to factor in Washington last year was down 2-0 to the Blue Jackets.
Right.
Game 3 went to overtime. Blue Jackets hit a post in overtime. I remember it like I was watching it yesterday. So that puck goes in 3-0. Ovechkin's a choker. Barry Trotz is a bum. They got nothing, right? So it's a lot of destiny to a lot of things got to break right for any kind of champion. Champion can't win a low on skill.
If my aunt had testicles, she'd be my uncle, right? So, it's like.
So where that came from? Left field, eh? Live TV.
But anyway, the bottom line is things like that happen in a hockey game, and a good team knows how to come back against it, under those circumstances. And that's what the Capitals did. And it was there was a game that actually brought strength to the Capitals, brought them together. I think they put them over the top. Yeah. And the Leafs will have opportunities to get those kind of games this year.
With arguably, other than Ovechkin, the MVP of that club being Tommy Wilson.
Oh yeah.
Arguably, right?
Yeah. Well, they got to take Muzzin.
Yeah. All right. We'll figure it out. We'll see. And I don't think Dubas is done. I don't think he's done. I think at this point in time, there's additions to come. Don't you?
Well, the trade deadline is a week and a half away. I would say I have no idea. I honestly have no idea. When it comes to to Kyle Dubas, he doesn't tip his hat.
Yeah, you don't.
Which I love. In old Leaf regimes, you would get leaks would come out all over the place, and you have sort of an idea what's going on. Now, I don't see a thing. Okay, what we got going on here?
You need your glasses? What's going on? Where do they want to know where I got the shirt from?
Okay, so anyway, Keith Downey he's on his live on Facebook.
Oh, yeah?
Facebook here. Keith Downey says Marner is awesome, but he has to stop with the no-look passes. It's going to bite him in the ass eventually. What do you think of that?
What's his name? Oh, Keith there?
Keith.
He just doesn't like the no-look passes, eh?
Right. Keith, did you ever watch Wayne Gretzky play?
Yeah,
I wouldn't recommend no-look passes for everybody, right?
No.
But there are certain players who had that innate ability to know where the rest of his teammates are at. Yes, he makes the occasional no-look pass, and that does occasionally butt him in the ass. But how often do they click, right?
Keith. Marner is the type of player and individual that you never question. You just let him do what you do. Every now and then he'll make a mistake. But you know what? For the amount of beauty and talent he produces, you just let that kid do whatever. You don't even coach that kid. All that guy's got an innate sense of how to deliver the puck, how to see the ice. You can't teach that thing. You want to talk about anybody else on the Leafs? I might join you, but not Mitchie.
No, I agree with you. Mitch Marner's a special talent, and the last thing you want to do, and some coaches do this, is they try to control their players. They try to make their players focus on certain aspects of the game, like defense, etc. Right? And they take away their creativity. Right? Yeah. I like the way that Mike Babcock lets this team play. Lets these guys do their thing. Yeah. You know, Babcock knows these guys are better players than he ever was. Yeah. He allows them to play the game. They have this innate ability to be creative, to make plays happen.
And that's not easy for him. That's not his style. That's not Babcock's style as a coach. Right. Babcock is a coach that likes a heavy club, defense first. Concentrate on your. Yeah,
I mean, look at some of his Red Wings teams. I wouldn't call necessarily heavy. They had some skill, right?
They had some skill.
But he let the skill player. He had to let.
You don't got to be heavy 20 deep.
He lets the skilled guys play. Right?
Yeah, you don't got to be heavy 20 deep, but you need 4, 5, 6 guys. That Detroit team always had some guys that hurt you if you had your head down. Well, if you went in a corner, they'd hurt you.
Listen, you got some Leafs guys that'll hurt you if you keep.
Who, Willie? Willie Van Egg.
This is a different game, like if you hit a guy with their head down. I mean, the game's changed. You're not going to hit a guy in the head like you would have 10 years ago, right? So the game has changed a little bit. So anyway, Keith, but thank you for your opinion. Okay. All right. Not sure what's...
what we got here?
Okay, so not sure what's in Billy's coffee. Love it, though. Okay.
Excuse me?
Carson says, not sure what's in Billy's coffee. Love it, though. All right. All right, Billy.
What else we got?
Billy's just drinking coffee.
What is it, man? This is just tea. This is just tea.
Billy,
it's better that way.
If Billy wants to be home for Christmas, he just.
It's better that way,
right? Okay, so anyway, we've talked about the possibility of the Leafs making a trade here. I'm like we said, Kyle Dubas is a guy who's not going to tip his hat if he does choose to make a deal. I trust the guy. Like, I really trust this organization. I like what they've done. I trust Brendan Shanahan has brought in the right guys. Kyle Dubas has brought in the right guys. Mike Babcock has an idea of what he needs to push this team over the edge, and I'm sure that him and Dubas have the conversations. They know what they need to make this thing work, and I trust that they're going to do what
Let's put it this way. 5 years ago, Leaf fans, the only jerseys they were wearing when you'd see them outside is Kessel and Phaneuf. Kessel and Phaneuf, and not a prospect in sight. 5 years later, 4 years, however long it's been, they got the best roster in the NHL. What more do you want? Sometimes Leaf fans live and die on the results, but there's never going to be a time in Toronto history, especially hockey, that there's going to be a better roster of players, right? So time to enjoy the process, let go of the results a little bit, right? Can't live period to period, because frankly, when you look back, this is going to be the greatest year of Leaf hockey maybe ever, 20, 30 years from now. We've got potentially some of the greatest players that ever donned the blue and white are residing on this team. Continue to complain about Continue to complain about what's missing.
Even the team that won the Stanley Cup back in the 60s never had this kind of talent. I mean, you got so many guys. Guys, Marner, Matthews, Tavares, all potential MVP, right?
Absolutely.
They're in the conversation. All three of them. Morgan Riley in the conversation for Norris. Freddie Anderson in the conversation for the Bilson. Andreas Janssen in the conversation for the Calder. You've never had this kind of collection of talent in a Maple Leafs uniform before. And you've got the Maple Leafs organization, the Marlies, are the defending Calder Cup champions, right?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So there's depth. I mean, what more can you ask for? This if you look at where the Leafs are now. And where they were like 5-10 years ago, it's just night and day.
We'll let that one go. There was something interesting just transpired here. Anyway,
okay.
Yeah, we'll let it go. Live audience, you never know what you're going to get into here. What else we got going there?
Okay. My wife said hello. Okay, Penny Claire says, Hainesy's such a cute nickname.
Hainesy's a cute nickname.
Yeah,
Ask
no,
Penny Claire if she likes his shirt.
Oh, yeah.
Penny Claire, hey?
I know she likes his shirt for sure. Yeah. Betty Claire likes his shirt for sure. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Wayne Wittes says I agree. Okay. Okay. All right. Thanks, Dave. Dave likes us. Okay.
Boy,
All
Dave,
right.
good stuff.
Okay. What Wayne Wittes says we need another goalie.
Who wants another goalie?
Wayne Wittes says the Leafs need another goalie.
Another goalie.
That's a tough one, okay? Because you got McElhenney on the farm and available. But you know what? Sparks doesn't get a chance to play a lot, right?
Yeah.
But when he does not embarrass himself. He keeps the team in it. The last time he played was on the back-to-back when they lost to the Rangers when they outshot him by a ridiculous margin. But he does the job. I mean, what you need is a capable backup. I mean, it would be great to have a 1 and a 1A, right? Like some teams have that. Very few teams, mind you. But you got to assume that Freddie Anderson, he is going to be your guy, and you got to hope that he stays healthy. I mean. Any team can be sidelined and derailed. Any cup run or championship run can be sidelined by an injury.
Fair enough. One of the most important dynamics when you're talking about goalie duos in NHL is about understanding each other's role, right? And when you have Sparks who's used to being a starter, you know how tough it is for this kid? We've said it 100 times. Sparks started the last 2-3 years. He believes he's a starter. With the Marlies. And now you're telling this kid that's somewhat insecure, I'm guessing, somewhat timid, to come in a season where we're expected to win a cup and stand on his head and shine. That's a lot of pressure to put on a kid. Dubas should have known that from the beginning. Keep him in the thing. McElhinney's the perfect backup. McElhinney sits a week. He knows he's not a starter. He doesn't have dreams that he's going to take a job. He doesn't have dreams that he's going to go on and have a long career. McElhinney knows he's at the tail end of his career, right? And he knows his role. And when he comes in there, he's confident. He's confident. That's the big difference. And again, if Dubas had to rethink this at the beginning of the year, depending on what you think of Sparks, if you think of Sparks as maybe a tradable asset down the road, or in the event that he can challenge Anderson for the number 1 spot, you keep him. But if you're keeping Sparks as a backup, right, it's the wrong decision. Sparks not a backup. Sparks deserves to go play somewhere else in the NHL where he can prove himself. Sparks as a backup here's doing nothing for him, nothing for his career. That's a point of contention that Dubas might want to revisit for next year.
Yeah, but he's only 25 years old. The guy might be the future of the franchise. We don't even know.
You think so?
We might. You never know. You just have no idea.
Those are the calls you got to make, right? Those are the calls on the spot you got to make. And again, if any of us were 100% at what we do, Dubas has done spectacular things as his predecessor Lamoriello, but nobody's 100%.
Who's the guy they picked up on waivers in the Marlies now? The guy that leads the goalie, they picked up on waivers. And
the guy from Florida, the wore the pads.
Yeah. Who had the wrong pads. And they had the Florida pads on.
I got a little cold here. I don't know what.
I just can't believe I can't remember. It doesn't matter. But anyway, he's another guy who's capable backup. You can bring him up at a pitch. It's Hutchison. That's it. Hutchison. Yeah. I wouldn't want to see Hutchison and Sparks and Hutch. Leading the Leafs.
Slid that in there, like a snake.
Leading the Leafs in a playoff run. You got to hope that Freddie Anderson stays healthy. Obviously, you got to hope that they all stay healthy. I mean, if this team is going to win the Stanley Cup, they're going to need Freddie Anderson healthy.
They're going to need Freddie not only healthy, but
you can
also
say that. But
you can say that about Price. About
Caps need Braden Holtby. I mean, couples. Bolts need Vasilevsky.
The only team.
Carey Price, if he's out, the Caps have no shot.
The only team that's only Boston has a slight ability to afford Raskin who go there. They're both playing. But again, you want Raskin.
You lose Rask, I don't know. Can the Bruins really win the Stanley Cup without Rask?
And one line, absolutely not.
No,
absolutely
not.
Not.
I wouldn't consider them at all. Okay, so, all right. Sparks is weak. Let Hutch try. Okay. I miss hockey. Christine from Kentucky says.
From Kentucky.
I miss hockey here in Kentucky.
When was the last time hockey was in Kentucky?
I don't know. They got minor league.
They got minor league.
I guess not.
You ever covered anything down there?
No, not.
Let me ask you. Ever covered it in your time? You ever been to Derby?
No. Oh, no, I've never been to the Derby.
You've never been to the
Derby, but
what's on your bucket list?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe. Oh, I definitely want to go there sometime. I love horse racing, as you know. And
Yeah.
okay, so I think we pretty much got it covered. You think we got it covered on the Leafs?
Well, where else you want to go? We can talk about Leafs for 30 seconds or 30 hours and come to the same conclusion, right?
Right.
Only in April, only when playoff time comes do we find out whether or not the time is now, or the time is coming, or the time will never be here. One of the three, right? We'll figure it out.
And you know what? I tell you what. I said this at the beginning of the season. I really like the Leafs' chances. I believe they are a definite Stanley Cup contender. They actually would be, and I know I've got a little bit of bias here, but I really believe this is a team that could very well win the Stanley
but then
Cup.
again, you believe
and
that.
it's going to be. I think it's going to come down to either them or Tampa, whoever wins. Whoever wins the division.
You know what? You know what the problem? You know why you believe that? You know why you believe that?
Why?
Right? Not only because you wear Maple Leaf underwear underneath it,
Right.
but you believe that because you're old enough. Sorry, I love you, but you're old enough to remember. You're old enough to remember. Any Leaf fan that's old enough to remember really values this time and really is romanticizes this point in their life, because frankly in your time I see the gleam in your eyes. You ever seen a better Leaf roster? How old are you?
Never.
48,
never.
49 now?
Yeah, this is
Around.
the best league
You
roster.
ever seen
Well
one?
done.
So
Best.
that's why you're excited too. That's why everybody's
Speaking
excited.
of getting old, it's Billy's birthday today. We forgot to mention it's Billy's. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Billy. 67 years old today, folks. Billy the Great.
It's not every day a man turns 30. It's a big day, man.
Not every day.
It's a big
All right,
day.
by the way, this segment is brought to you by another newer sponsor, Homeland Mortgage, offering fast first and second mortgage loans for any purpose, whether you need to pay bills, renovate, or need a mortgage to purchase a home. For the best service, call Michael Lalonde at 416-913-9593. Visit homelandmortgage.org. All right, so let's move to some basketball, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk about the basketball. The NBA All-Star festivities are on this weekend. We're basically the unofficial halfway point of the season. The Raptors have the second best record in the NBA. I mean, I probably thought they would be first or second in the East at this time of the year after they grabbed Kawhi Leonard. But this team is no question. They're going all in. All in. The trade for Kawhi Leonard, who may or may not be here at the end of the season, personally, I don't see why he wouldn't stay in Toronto. I think Toronto has a lot to offer. A minority athlete in Toronto. There's not a better spot in the NBA. I really believe that. It's like Canada is a great home for him, and I sure hope he stays. Right? It's a little bit cold, but listen, how much of you're an NBA player.
You
right?
said you got cash, you can stay longer?
Right. No. If you're playing for the Lakers, how much time do you spend traveling all over the place in cold climates? It doesn't matter. When the season is over, it's really nice here in Toronto. It's nice wherever you choose to live. But we've got a better political climate. There's a lot of good things. There's a lot of good reasons to like Toronto. And I would love to see Kawhi Leonard say, I don't think there's any problem getting Marc Gasol to stay if Kawhi stays as well. And who knows?
You're not going to have a problem getting Gasol to stay, because he's got a player option of $26 million, and bet your bottom dollar that he's taking that $26 million.
Good point.
I've had a little time to think about this, and I've come to a conclusion.
Right.
Let me know if that guy's going to alter my next fact.
No.
I got an important fact coming.
Oh, a guy, okay.
All right.
Yeah, okay.
Don't worry about that guy, Joe. I'm more important. Forget about him.
Okay,
Come
all
here.
right.
Come here. Listen here.
All right.
I was doing a little bit of thinking about this Gasol character, and here's what I've concluded: that Gasol, if you took away the jersey, the name Gasol, right, and you put some no name, I don't know, say you put no, hold on. If you put some guy, some no namer, say you put Tilley,
Okay.
no, say you put whoever, right, on the back
Then
of
you get into the point guard, right?
Here's the deal: if you put it,
Not 7-1.
if you take away the perception and the allure of the last name, you know what Gasol is? Gasol's a 7'1" white guy that has no vertical, has no lateral movement.
You're 7'1". What do you need vertical?
Doesn't matter. He's past his prime. Frankly, the Raptors. Who was our auto guy? What's our auto guy? Bring him up again. Bring our auto guy up again. No, our sponsor.
Oh, okay.
I'll tell you.
Oh, Oh, Davey Otterson. Jeff.
All right,
Jeff Davey.
Jeff. What's his name?
Jeff Davey. Yeah.
All right. So if you call Jeff, right, and you had a problem with your I don't know, your carburetor, right?
Right.
You go to Jeff. It's Jeff.
Yeah.
You go to Jeff and you say, I'm having a little problem with my carburetor. You know, it's not running too good. You take your car to the shop and old Jeff changes the rims on your car and tells you drive up. The problem with the Raptors was not the center spot. Ibaka and Valanciunas were playing in sync. They were playing beautifully. The Raptors were winning because the Raptors were winning because of depth.
Yeah.
DeLon Wright missing now with Van Fleet going down affects him in that kind of way. And frankly, the weakness of the club was not addressed. The weakness of the club, Joe, is not the 5 spot. The weakness of the club is nobody shooting the ball at a high percentage from 3. That's the weakness of the club. So Masai.
Well, they brought in C.J. Miles to do that job. C.J.
and they got rid of him too. But
Danny Green has been a great three-point shooter. Marc Gasol is a solid three-point shooter. He's 38% from 3. For a guy who's 7'1", that's pretty good. I mean, the guy is forget the fact that he's a center. Forget the fact
in
that
today's NBA, there's two ways to play the game. There's to the rim and shooting threes. That's it. So if that's
he's also an amazing passer. This guy isn't your basic center. This guy is like a point guard who's 7'1". He distributes the ball as good as anybody I can see. He can set the screen as good as anybody in the NBA. He can shoot probably better than any big man in the NBA. So you've got the whole package here. He's 34 years old. What he brings to his team is awesome. It's exactly what
it was not Swiss an area of weakness.
Right.
Would you agree that Valanciunas and Ibaka was not an area of weakness? Where was the weakness?
Valanciunas has had having a pretty good year until he got hurt. I'll grant you that. Okay?
We're singing his praises all year, right?
Coming off the bench, he's having a pretty good season. And we're all saying Jonas Valanciunas looks really good. You know why? Because we were comparing to the old Jonas Valanciunas.
Fair enough.
All right? Now we're comparing him to Marc Gasol.
You're making me sweat here, right?
All right? Marc Gasol is not Jonas Valanciunas. He's Jonas Valanciunas on steroids. I mean, this guy is everything Valanciunas would want to aspire to be. This guy is the real deal.
4 years ago.
34 years old is not over the hill. This is not over the hill. 34 years old in the NBA. He doesn't start playing the NBA until he's like 24, 25 years old. He's a 10-year veteran. It's not like in the NHL when you start playing when you're 18 years old, 28 years old, 35 years old. Yeah, you're washed up. 34 years old now. The guy doesn't play the type of game that's going to break his body down. He's not a point guard. Marc Gasol is a great pickup. I think now you've got a team that is really good. I mean, you had a team that was competitive and a contender for the championship. Now you got a team that I think is going to be your favorite to win the Eastern Conference. All right? The only thing standing in the way is Giannis. Giannis has never been in the other Greek. Giannis has never been in a position where he's led his team to an NBA Finals. Okay, Kawhi Leonard has done that. Kawhi Leonard is an NBA championship MVP.
I hate to rain on your parade, Joe, but that's not how I see it, and that's not how it's going to be. Number one, the areas of concern for me haven't changed. Need more shooters. Okay, fine, we got what we got. Maybe Powell raises his game to another level. Maybe Anunoby raises the game to another level. Wing guys that can produce.
All right, maybe you look good in the Rising Stars contest.
Fair enough. So could I there. Anyways, point of the matter is, for the Greek, losing Van Fleet to injury, not having the depth in the backcourt, and not having the depth in the backcourt, I wouldn't have traded DeLon Wright. And maybe if they'd have seen the future in Van Fleet, I don't know how the timing was there. He got hurt. Trade was made, he got hurt next day, 5 weeks out, right? Yeah. So the point of the matter is, for me...
But Jeremy Lin comes in.
He's okay, yeah, he's a
Lin,
competitor.
it's
not insanity.
You don't know what to expect from Jeremy Lin.
Yeah, it's not insanity, right? But for me, the biggest asterisk question mark for the second half of the season is the health of Kyle Lowry. To me, Kyle Lowry, when I watch him, right? He doesn't look like the same player he looked at the beginning of the year. He doesn't look anywhere close to the player he looked at the beginning. There's something
last game he played, last 2 games before the All-Star break, Kyle Lowry looked pretty good. All right, he looked pretty. He had that 120-point game. He looked pretty good. He's had some back issues. They've given him some time off.
Yeah.
Like I love what Nick Nurse is doing these days. He's given Leonard time off. He's given Lowry time off.
But if you want to give Lowry time off, right?
Give it to him now.
But if you want to give Lowry time off, how do you trade DeLon Wright? He's your insurance point card. Like I'd rather trade. If you want to give Lowry and you want to protect his minutes.
So DeLon Wright, okay. He's a nice number 3 guy to have around.
For a team
he's a point guy with a little bit of size. He's okay.
And absolutely, but
Jeremy Lin. All right.
Yeah,
Would you trade DeLon Wright for Jeremy Lin?
I don't know. Maybe not. But you know what that means to me? There's a lot of in terms of chemistry, in terms of intangible. There's a lot of variables that need to get sorted out in 26 games moving forward, right?
Right.
As opposed to the chemistry this team is built for the better part of the time together with the addition of Leonard. I wouldn't have broke up the chemistry. I would have rolled them and I would have added. I wouldn't have taken away from the roster. Right?
Okay, chemistry. I think chemistry is more important when you're dealing with a younger team. When you're dealing with veterans who played in multiple systems for multiple coaches with multiple players, they fit in like that. Yeah. Jeremy Lin has been around. He fits in no problem. Yeah. Marcus Gasol's been around. He fits in no problem. Did Kawhi Leonard have any trouble fitting in? I mean, they bring Kawhi Leonard in, and they're the best team in the NBA.
That's a special player.
That's the first half of the season.
That's a special player.
My point is they're veteran players. They played with They played under different guys, they're different systems. They know how to fit it. They know what it takes to play at this level. So there you go. There was an interesting thing here I did. So okay, Barry wants to know the score. Okay, Barry wants to know the score of the game tonight with the Leafs. But
Kerry, well, you're not paying attention. Where he gave you the score? Want us to repeat it?
I said 4-2. He said 4-1. Barry,
come on, Gary, smarten up.
Yeah. Some guy says the Leafs suck. Why are you even talking about this crap yet?
Where's that guy from? La Belle Province, no doubt, eh?
Yeah, no doubt. He's got this red, white, and blue jersey on. All right. Anyway, guy from Windsor's calling. Says, "What's his name?" He just wants a shout out. All right. Hi, Joe. I'm Joe from Windsor. Okay, there you go. Hi, Joe from Windsor. There you go.
Right.
Okay. So we talked about this. Now, the other thing I want to talk about. I want to bring this up. Is do you want to do the draw now? Because we're talking about the NBA.
Want to do the draw and then get to the close, get to what was on your mind when we spoke about originally.
Yeah, but I also want to talk about. I do want to talk briefly about Colin Kaepernick.
All right.
Eric Reid, Colin Kaepernick. The NFL made a deal with Kaepernick and Reid, which is a joke. Okay. Like I don't understand why a guy like Colin Kaepernick, all right, who is a more than capable backup quarterback in the NFL. All right, he's not a number 1 star, but the guy should be in the NFL over a whole bunch of clowns. Who
you don't see the whole picture, Swiss.
Right. Okay.
You want me to fill you in?
Yeah, fill me in.
Here's what the whole picture looks like.
Right.
Kaepernick, without a doubt, has the ability to even start on a couple clubs in the NFL. No doubt about it. Can he be a backup? He can be a backup in 20 out of the 30 spots in the NFL. But you bring in Kaepernick as a backup, you know what you're bringing into? A circus. You know what you're bringing in? You're bringing in media. You're bringing in scrutiny. Every player in that, hold on. Every player in that locker room's got to answer questions. Every player's going to be asked about race, about politics, about identity, about kneeling, about flags. That's a lot of price to pay for a backup quarterback.
You don't think they're getting that asked now?
That's not no. But if you're LaShawn McCoy last year when they asked about Kaepernick, is what's going on. He goes, the bottom line, Kaepernick's not in the league because you know what? He comes with too much baggage. He got too much baggage, and he's too big of a distraction in the dressing room, right? And if that's the case, if I'm Jerry Jones and I'm looking for a backup quarterback, right? A backup, I want to bring this guy in and have all the scrutiny, all the eyes, all the this, all the that. There's enough chaos in the locker room already. I don't need to bring a guy in. That's why he doesn't have a job. It's not because NFL's racist. It's not because
you've got a team like the Cleveland Browns, okay, who are perennial losers, okay. You got a team like that.
Good there, eh?
You're on TV.
Well, we're on. Hey, this is live TV, pal.
There's the producer.
Yeah.
You got to go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay,
that's it.
Hey,
That's by the way,
security!
that's Brian Glasgow is our producer. We didn't give Brian a shout out yet. Brian, you're doing an amazing job,
Yeah, buddy.
The best. Anyway, good looking guy too. He should be on camera.
Hey?
He should be on camera. All right. But anyway, okay, a team that's crappy like the Cleveland Browns, what have they got to lose? Bring in a Colin Kaepernick, right? Like, I mean, it's like the NFL. Well, you know. Okay, we could go on this for a long time, and I don't think
the bottom line is the only way you bring Kaepernick into play is if you want to give him the keys to be your franchise QB. If you believe in him, and you want him to be your franchise QB, you give him the keys. But you're not bringing in Kaepernick to be no backup, to sit on the sidelines with the what you call that, man? The clipboard. Yeah, the clipboard, right? You want him to carry the clipboard and face all that scrutiny all year and all those questions and dressing room. No, you want him to be the starter? Absolutely. But Colin Kaepernick will never get a job in the NFL as a backup. Some owner might give him a shot and the keys to start. Different story.
I think there's some racial inequality happening in the NFL
Without
that
a
they
doubt.
never addressed, okay? Never addressed. It's been going for years, too. You remember Warren Moon, Conrad Holloway. Conrad Holloway set records at Tennessee, gets drafted in the 6th round by the Cowboys as a defensive
Without a
back.
doubt, different times
Comes
again.
to Canada, he's a starting quarterback, no problem. It's always been that way, and it's 2019.
Yeah,
It's time to change.
It's 2019. It's a, you know what? We don't want to get too far into the conversation, but there is something to be said for race and sport in the States, especially, right? Especially in football. But
another reason why if I'm a guy like Kawhi Leonard, Canada's pretty damn good, right?
Yeah.
Just saying.
we say,
By the way, this segment has been brought to you by Aldo at Remax Crossroads. Call 416 Get Aldo for all your real estate needs. 416 Get Aldo.
What do you say? Do the contest now? Hey, it's time.
Well, I'm ready. You ready?
It's time, Vosco. Where's
You
my
ready?
buddy Vos?
Everybody ready? Where Voss? Are you here?
Have a seat, champ.
Okay.
Have a seat.
All right, folks. This is Vas Pachanovsky. Okay.
Hey.
Vas, you're a great guy. It's good to know you, my friend.
Awesome, man.
And just a shout out to the Pachanovsky Family Memorial Fund, Toronto Foundation. Vas is here representing that, but also I want to say that Vas is a gentleman who donated the Raptors tickets, okay? And we have a pair of Raptors tickets which we're going to give away right now. And all you had to do to enter is come down here to the Cornerbank Sports Bar and Grill and put the ballot in.
Yeah.
The ballot had to have the code word on it because you had to watch the podcast, the sportscast, to know that
Numbers were pretty big, though. A lot of people were watching.
Yeah. Because you had to know that the code word was Greek. Okay. So
Without further ado, man.
had to be. And now listen, we had this thing here, right? But it was so jam full. I mean, they could not to the point where they couldn't put any more ballots into the box, into the drum, right? So we had to lose the Tilley and Billy drum, and we had to put all the ballots into this blue box.
Right?
All right.
Give it a good shake there.
And
Hold back. Come here. Nothing in the sleeves. Roll up your sleeves. Now keeping it honest here, right?
So here's the deal. The winner of the draw here gets 2 tickets to see the return of DeMar DeRozan, February 22nd.
Tickets,
which is coming
are they in my
Friday night.
pocket?
Hey?
Were the tickets in my pocket?
I hope so. Holy shit. I hope so, Billy. Billy, don't lose them.
Okay, hold on, guys. Anyways,
Billy.
keep going.
Anyway, next Friday night, the San Antonio Spurs come to town. The return of DeMar DeRozan, and you know the folks here in Toronto will probably give DeRozan a well-deserved round of applause. They don't need to give him the raspberries because DeMar played his guts out here. He signed here. He chose to sign here in Toronto. He wanted to stay in Toronto. But
Good soldier, yeah.
they had the team had other ideas. Okay, so anyway, this is 2 tickets to the Spurs and Raptors next Friday night.
Hey.
A chance to sit there and watch DeMar
Don't forget
DeRozan
what's in
come
his
to town.
pocket, though. There's something else in the
Oh yeah, and if you're here,
Whoa.
yeah, and if you're here at the quarterback tonight, there's a lot of people here. There's probably like, I don't know, maybe 500 people here tonight at least. There's, if you're here, when your name is drawn right here, the Greek has something else for you. Greek tells us about
I
that.
don't know. You know what? I said I had 300, man. I might be down to about 120 now, man. It's been a tough night, man. But we'll give you a little cash if you're here. And I'm crossing my fingers. Hope you're outside. Let's go. Come on.
Okay, here we go. Boss?
Hey, Voss, do the honor, buddy. Hey? Who do you got in there, Big Vosco? Huh?
Okay, let's see
All
that.
right.
Hurry. Okay.
Oh. Daniel La Rose.
So just to show you here,
Yeah. Hey?
Greek is on there, and your winner is
Okay.
Danielle LaRose.
Danielle. So what do we do, man? Is she?
LaRose.
Hold on,
That's
I
not
wanna,
your... Okay.
she's a sister of
She's
one
a
of the
sister.
employees.
Is she here tonight? Oh, too
Woo!
bad, Danielle.
Whoa.
Too bad, Danielle. Danielle, and that's funny that a sister, one of the employees, you got.
Hey? Yeah, hey? Awesome, Danielle. What are we gonna do? Danielle's got to come in.
You got the tickets? You got the tickets?
Hold on. I got the tickets and the cash, but the cash is staying close phone. Hey,
Okay,
Joe.
all right.
There you go.
So here's your tickets. These are going out to you, Danielle. We got your phone number. We're not gonna announce your phone number because that would be cool. So here you go. 2 tickets. The return of DeMar DeRozan. There you go.
Hey, atta girl.
All
Way
right.
to go, Danielle.
And way to go, boss. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you
guys are doing an
really
awesome
appreciate
job.
this. Thank you.
Thanks, boss. Awesome, buddy, man. Thank you. So, Joe, we're gonna give away money. So what are we gonna do right now, man? You want to put somebody on the spot? A little bit of trivia? Something?
All right.
Eh?
Yeah. Okay. All
I
right.
don't know. Hey, that guy over there. Hey, come here. You're looking at. Come here, bud. You. Trivia time. Come on. Somebody. Who's gonna want some trivia?
Tony.
Tony, come on, buddy. We're gonna give you a chance.
Good pal, Tony.
We're gonna give you a chance for one of these, pal. One of these. You're live on camera. Say hi to the.
Hey, I just want to show something off that Billy gave me.
Hey,
Hey,
Around.
hey, baby.
got a pen?
Billy.
Do we have a pen?
Yeah. No.
What are you doing?
We're
pen
doing
over
a
there.
little bit of trivia, a little trivia
Tony.
giveaway.
I can't. I don't know nothing.
You don't know nothing about trivia? You a Leaf fan?
Oh yeah.
All right. Spell Oceana for $20. Right? Thank you for playing the game.
You're welcome.
Yeah?
Thanks, Tony.
This is the
Give me that
easiest
20
money of my life,
Yeah.
eh?
Okay.
What's gonna be?
OZ.
Oh yeah, good luck. What do you want, the 20? Yeah, buddy.
OZHIGANOV. I think it's pretty close to that.
Pretty close.
Look
Ain't
it
in
up.
the
Look it
neighborhood.
up.
Put your glasses.
Okay. Okay. 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right,
Brian's
wrap
giving
her
us the
up.
5-minute wrap up. Okay. So okay. I guess just to wrap up about the NBA. We got the Danny Green representing the Raptors studying the 3-point contest. The Curry brothers.
Yeah, should be good
Seth and
theater.
Steph. The game's in Charlotte. These two guys kind of grew up in Charlotte, but interestingly enough, they also kind of grew up in Toronto. They spent some of their formative years playing some hoops in Toronto. Seth and Steph Curry. When Del Curry played for the Raptors, Del Curry, we should call him 3D. 3D for Del.
You know what? If Del Curry came out of retirement and shot in 3-point contest, he'd have a shot, man.
He'd have a
Hey,
shot, yeah,
that
yeah.
guy can still shoot the ball, man. That's
The
the one thing.
kids
Hey,
come by
Slim,
naturally. Yeah?
hey, when you're in the gym, that's the one thing that never goes away. Hey, the 3-point touch. Eh?
Oh, that's right. You noticed me in the gym.
Yeah, eh?
Dropping those 3-pointers. no problem.
Yeah.
So and then you've got the skills competition tonight. The Curry brothers taking part. Slam dunk contest, which is always kind of fun. We'll see what happens. They come up with some creative stuff, and of course the big All-Star game tomorrow, which the West always wins. They're stacked.
Who cares? You know,
who cares?
just,
Yeah, it's good.
And anybody out there want to lay a couple bucks? Maybe give a shot on what's his name? Who's the kid I like from Brooklyn? What's his name?
Harris?
Joe Harris.
Yeah, Joe Harris.
Joe Harris. Give Joe Harris a shot at 10-1 for the 3-point competition, and give me a shout out next week.
Okay. So we got the Leafs playing the Coyotes once again. I've got the Leafs winning this game by a score of 4-2. Billy says they're going to win 4-1, but we're both saying the Leafs are going to win this. They head into this game 3 points up on Boston. For second spot in the conference. Nobody's ever going to catch Tampa. They're home and cooled out. 15-point lead or some god awful thing. So they're pretty much cooled out. But I'm sorry, there's something. Oh,
Who's that calling?
what's calling? Somebody's calling.
The winner's calling. Call her on the phone. Say I wanted to keep the tickets. All right. Keeping it very honest here at the Billy and Tilley Show.
Oh, somebody wants to know where you got the shirt.
Right? It's about time.
Billy,
Thanks a
where'd
lot.
you get that shirt?
Right?
Billy's shirt is hurting my eyes, it says, but Billy, where'd you get the shirt? Somebody else says it's hurting my eyes. Somebody wants to know, really. Somebody wants to know. Tell him, Billy.
I'll tell you where I got the shirt and the guns underneath, too, if you stick around.
And Sean Chappelle is expecting an awesome
Sure.
night for Austin Matthews tonight. Okay, that's Danielle. Can
Hey.
I say hi to
Hello?
Danielle?
Can I speak to Danielle, please? Danielle! How you doing, you rascal? Hey? You're doing really good now. Well, you're the winner of the big contest. You got the Raptor tickets. Let me ask you a question now. Hold on. How come you didn't come here? I had $300 cash for you, and now I'm gonna put it in my pocket. Hey?
And
You're
by the way,
what a
and
sweetheart
by the way,
you are.
Danielle, who
Huh?
you taking to the game?
You got any plans on who you taking to the game?
I think Billy's looking for a date that night.
You do? You can be there in how long, Danielle? Is there any way I can convince you to take me to the game? Probably not, eh, Danielle? Thanks a lot. Okay, congratulations. We'll be seeing you shortly. Absolutely, Danielle. Thank you for playing. We appreciate it very much. All right,
All
see
right,
you
that's
soon.
Danielle.
Right?
All right.
Holy Danielle. Right?
Okay, folks,
Like that.
that pretty much wraps it here from
Yeah.
the Cornerbank Sports Bar and
Pleasure
Grill.
once again, Mr. Tilley.
Billy the Greek.
Yes, sir.
All right, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you all for joining us. For those folks here,
Yeah.
streamed by the
Yeah.
Cornerbank Sports
Yeah.
Bar and Grill.
Little, you know, we,
For you folks at home, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week at the usual time, I think.
yeah, you know,
And
onwards and upwards, all right?
yeah,
Here
all
we
right.
go.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Joe the Swiss.
Billy the Greek, take good care.
Thank you for watching the Tilley and Billy Show on behalf of our producer Brian Glasgow and all of us here. See you soon.